Hello and welcome back to the finishing line, proudly sponsored by Glistian Events. Andrew, how are you?
I am good, Dave. How are you?
I'm
tired.
I'm tired and I'm warm.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm good. It's been a good weekend of sport.
It's been a great weekend. Rory bottling it again. Ireland currently beating Holland, which is a shock to all.
Won't last.
Ireland rugby, hockey in Romania as expected. Tom drunk in France.
Yeah.
Good weekend.
Sean, how you doing? How was Leopardstown on Saturday?
Yeah, good weekend. Leopardstown was great yesterday. I had out with a few friends, and it wasn't as busy as I thought. I thought the crowds, I don't know what the figures were on it. It seemed to be you could move around Leopardstown very freely. But great day, great racing, and had a great time. It was class.
A bit warm at the races.
I don't know.
No, it was actually all right because it was overcast yesterday in Leopardstown. Now it was Friday. Good. Oh, I wouldn't have liked to be out there on Friday, but there was a bit of cloud cover and it wasn't too bad, so it's good.
And the attendances are just down everywhere, really, aren't they?
Oh, flat. It just doesn't compare to the jumps. Like you're probably comparing it to the Dublin Racing Festival, where it's absolutely jammed. There's the interest for the flat just isn't there.
Yeah, like I've seen better attendances at Christmas, like in the winter. So I'd say the numbers are probably a good bit down if they come out during the week.
Like, what are you going up there to watch? What really makes you go, I can't wait to see Tanawa or Tahira, whatever. Tahira.
I would have gone up if Ace Impact had come over, but otherwise I wasn't much bothered, to be honest.
There's nothing like dragging you there. There's no like Frankel you want to go see. There's no See the Stars. There's no, it's like the jumps you're going to see. There's 8 horses in one race you want to see.
Yeah.
You okay? Very tired.
No, I'm just thinking. Just like I like the flat, but it just doesn't grip people the same as the jumps does. You can,
I think
you see it all over Twitter and stuff like that, and unfortunately, with flat being down to more so jockey error and jockeys being a big part of it, more so than the jumps, track bias and fast ground, which we saw a lot of at Leopardstown on Saturday. I think it's quite hard for the regular Joe so to really invest in flat race.
It's very hard to sell. They do their best to do it, but it's very hard to sell. Like the Champions Weekend is a great thing they came up with.
Yeah.
But you need the horses there to sell it.
Yeah, look, and if you're into it as well, they can. From 2 furlongs in the Champions Stakes, which we'll obviously talk about, I knew that August Rodin would go close to winning, and Aiden's horses were going to be right up there because
it was like a piece of work.
We commented a few times before Sean was on the podcast that Ryan used to ride Leopardstown poorly enough, but he's figured it out now, and other jockeys that come across don't ride it all that great. Oisin Murphy is tremendously poor at Leopardstown and has been the last 2 seasons. Holly Doyle, I suppose, we'll touch on it obviously, but hold up Nashua, but you're just too far back. And Kevin Stott, I don't know, maybe it was his first ever ride at Leopardstown, but that big horse is just an out and out stayer, King of Steel, and it's never going to work. And there was a few other bad ones as well, but look, it's a track you kind of have to know.
Yeah.
We'll touch on all the races that we discussed during the week. And we just touch on Haydock first. We went through 2 races at Haydock. Before we get into that, Glistian gave out some free tickets for the golf. That's obviously finished up now. Rory bottled it a little bit, but I know a lot of people had good time at the golf and sent me some pictures, sent Andrew some pictures. So thanks to Glistian for this. They're a company that continues to give away stuff, and on that respect, we have another competition. Glistian are giving away a tailor-made Stealth 2 driver worth €600. Andrew, what do you have to do?
all you have to do is you go to all their social media channels. All the links are there. And every one you follow is an entry to it. Now, the draw will be done live on one of Glistian's social media channels on the 30th of September. So you have now till the 30th of September to get your entries in. And somebody will be walking away with a Stealth 2 driver. That will improve our game.
I won last week.
Dave bet me for the first time ever. Granted, it was over 9 holes. And over 9 holes, and I gave him a shot. Everything. I was fucking terrible.
I've got significantly better.
Honking.
I think playing less actually helps my my stress of it. If I play too much, I get too frustrated. But you don't have to do anything regards paying any money, so on and so forth. As Andrew said, you just need to subscribe to those social media Glistian events and so on and so forth, and you're in a chance to win a driver.
I'll put all the links in the description, and they've more giveaways. I think last week they had tickets for the South Africa-Scotland game today for free. They had that giveaway for anyone that followed, and they had one for if you joined their gold membership. They had more tickets for the Rugby World Cup, so it's worth checking out all the social media channels and all their websites. There's a big announcement coming up with the horses in South Africa and what comes with that, which is astonishing, to be honest. But all will be told in due time.
I'm free around Christmas time as well. If Glistian want to fly me to South Africa, I've no problem going.
We can do PR
just leave that
over
out there. No issue.
We go record a bit of footage of the horses. Go to Grave, say hello to our Hollywood Bets friends.
Fuck.
Oh, Jesus. I nearly flipped the table.
Again, just remind you regards the packages for Glistian, for our syndicate packages, the gold and black memberships.
That's not the syndicate. That's just the membership.
The gold and black memberships and the... You know, I'm not going to rattle them off because there's a lot of stuff there, but you see all the stuff that you can get by signing up to those memberships and the price per year down at the end. And as we've described a few times, plenty of festival packages and overall sports packages will be at Dublin Racing Festival. You get 5% off with the code the finishing line 5. So if you want to drop in to the Dublin Racing Festival, which is definitely the best of the Irish meetings coming up.
The best weekend of the year.
In January, we'll be there and we'll have a good crack. On to Haydock. First race, we touched on... I'll just get the name up here. I don't have it in my notes.
I forgot to print it. My bad.
The best odds on Betfair Exchange Superior Mile Stakes.
Betfair. I love his double accent.
Yeah.
Betfair.
And... Light Infantry was favoured. I think Sean was fairly happy to go at Light Infantry. I wanted to go at an outsider. I just think he's worth taking on every single race. He just does not know how to win. And Chindit, of all horses, done the business. He's a strange old horse, is Chindit. To a certain level, he's good. But then when you expect him to win, like I think it was at York the last time, he just bombed out. And then he comes back again and does his thing. Kind of a bit like our Power. When he goes into Group 1s, he's just not able to cut the mustard there. But Group 3s, Group 2s, not a bother.
Yeah, it's his cup of tea, it seems.
Yep.
Yeah, look, he looked like he was going to win from a long way out. I put up regularity, he ran grand. But yeah, Life Infantry he got stuck in a pocket, but I doubt that would have changed it. The results. Chindit, good winner. Wish he'd done it the run before, but anyway, it's much of a muchness, really.
Yep, Sean.
Yeah, as you said, Light Infantry was bashed off the boards. He was 11-8. He went off here. He was caught in a pocket, but I don't think that was the win or losing. He might have got a length or more closer, but I don't think it was the win and losing. Shinda, I'm surprised to see him. He's supposed to be off to India or something like that, breeding, but obviously he's gone again. And listen, that's his sort of level, isn't it? A Light Infantry, I'd be staying clear of now. That's the first time I jumped on the bandwagon, and as you touched on, I think he just gonna find a way to lose. So I'd be jumping back off his bandwagon now.
Ginger going to India?
He's sold to be a stud there, to be a stallion in India. I think he's going.
He's supposed to go. He's supposed to go out to Newbury, so I wonder if maybe it fell apart or something. I'm not too sure.
See, I think some of the Asian breeders are trying to get the European breed over there. They apparently have offered Coolmore 60 million to buy August Rodin. They didn't say exactly who it is, but it's an Asian syndicate of people want them to stand that stud over there.
It's like a tenner to the tapers.
60 million is a lot of millions. Jamie Spencer as well. I don't know whether he could have rode like infantry better, but later on that card he was riding a horse called Chaos Chorister, and he absolutely gave it a fucking Horlicks.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Like I was saying, it's hard for people to really love the flat when you see it. That filly was going to win that race, and he pulled her back, and she lost.
Gets upsides, takes a pull, pulls her into the horse. And who was it on the other side? James Doyle or whoever it was?
I could have. It was it was Tom the Bomb.
Tom Marcon.
And Post Impressionist.
Swinging. Not swinging on the outside. Flying on the outside. Knowing that Jamie Spencer, well, not knowing, but trying to keep away from all the other horses, and done them all. Great ride. Jamie Spencer. Ooh. Can they do anything about that? Like, well, can't really, can they? Because Tom Marcon really came out of nowhere. He was like, I'd say a good 10, 15 yards on the other side of the track.
Commentators don't help by saying she got a bump by the other filly. She got no bump by no filly.
He pulled her in.
She was ready to go, and Jamie Spencer took a pull. So just call it like it is and stop fucking lying. That's my issue with it, more so than Jamie Spencer.
That's why you say commentaries. There's been a lot of people giving out about commentary last weekend.
They're giving out about the Jerry Hannon, but sure, look, it is to me. It's just passion, isn't it? Really. I don't fucking understand them half the time. Anyway, I'd say half the people watching this don't understand us.
There's bigger issues than commentators screaming and having a fucking seizure on a thing in racing at the moment.
Never changed.
On to the Betfair Spring Cup, 6 furlong Group 1, and just a constant with sprinting in England and Ireland, and we'll talk about it again in the Flying Five. And one that got away from me because I mentioned on the podcast he was 16-1. I said he'd be my each way bet, and I did not back regional. I saw a few people on Twitter saying his form was not up to the level, but I've said numerous times we're running in class 1, class 2, 6 furlong sprints. You're nearly a Group 1 sprinter, and on any given day, regards ground, they can all just win and have a good day. And if they hit form, then they're there, and they'll have their couple of wins and then fall away again. He did it, the first Group 1 winner for Ed Bethel. To be honest, as soon as the gates opened and Shaq jumped out normal, I was like, he ain't winning because he's not mad today.
It's the one. It's the issue I had with it was that I said the day he breaks out on terms and is up there making his own run is the day he'll get beat. It's just a whole. I think he just likes running at something.
I'm not even sure it's that. They just tried to be too smart with him, I think, trying to calm him down. And when a horse is nuts, it's just part of who he is. Like Florian Porter, trying to hold up Florian Porter means Florian Porter was going to lose. Just like Shaq was keen, and instead of just letting him be keen, James Doyle had way too much hold of him, and it was pretty much exactly what happened at York last year on his second run, and he just bombed out and he didn't go anywhere. Like, he just couldn't be fucked with it, to be honest.
It's like when you take it from any kind of sport, like football player. If you try calm down a young player who just dives into tackles, like Rooney, for instance, when he came on the scene, they tried to calm him down a bit, and
you take apart what he is.
You take away what they are. And I know it's harder with horses. You try to do other shit with them to try to stop him and what, not stop him, but stop him being mental. It just backfires, I think. But look, in a way, he was beaten so far, it was probably too bad to be true. Given that he was only ever beaten once in his life, and the performance he put in, could have been one run too many after. Like, God only knows how much that took out of him.
It's possible. He's on the go since he won a qualifier thing, Wolverhampton in December, and then he's been going. Then he had Newbury, he had Ascot, he's the July Newmarket Festival. So he's gone through a lot. And I said I'd love to see him win and then just be put away. Don't be trying to bleed him dry. Like, but I'd say we'll see him next year, and hopefully he's a bit mad still.
Doubt we see him again? this season?
No, I just put him away now. Leave him rest up. The last 3 group run sprints, though, again, we'll get on to the Flying 5, and Martin has remarked that it's the worst sprinting division in years. And to be honest, I like Shaquille, but I couldn't much deny that because we had a Group 1 won today by Moss Tucker, who's not a Group 1 sprinter. We had Regional 1, and although I tipped him up years past, he'd be nowhere near a Group 1 sprinter. And Live in the Moment, or whatever that horse that won the Nunthorpe, a Group 1 winner, but not, in my estimation, a proper Group 1 sprinter. They're the last 3 in a row. Even at Ascot, Bradsell winning the King's Stand, I think Bradsell's absolutely puck as well. And again, another reason why very, very hard to fall in love with flat racing with that kind of stuff going on.
It's like glorified racing from Wolverhampton. You could run it 10 times over 10 different weeks and you get 10 different winners.
I see people giving out on Twitter, and then people are, these are 6 furlong flat races. Like, this is what happens. It's not, because form is supposed to stack up and form is supposed to count, and there's no form counting in the sprinting this year.
Highfield, we'll get onto it anyway. Highfield Princess, R Power, Brazil, all beaten outside.
Yeah. Ben there, Cadem, another example, 80-1 winner of the Golden Jubilee at Ascot. It's not good. And I really like the flat racing. It's just not good for the breed and everything. It's not good for punters. And punters have to have a win every now and again. Like, and if you have 80-1 winners of every fucking Group 1 sprint, double figures all the time, it's very hard to get control of it.
Like, where's the Curragh? The Curragh, look, this is just results from today. The Curragh, the winner, 16-1, 6-1, 16, 9-2, 11-10 on, 16-5 odds on, and what was the last one? 9-5-1. That's a good day on the flat. You got 3 favourites winning, 3-4 favourites. But you're getting horses 100-1 winning. You're getting these mad 60-60 shot winning Group 1s. You don't really see it on the jumps in the big racing.
Yeah, I think the jumps is more punter friendly as well. Sean, Shaquille.
Yeah, Shaquille, I missed this live now, but I caught the replay, and when I seen the start when he jumped away, I was saying to myself, Jesus, how did he get beaten this far? Right, something's had to gone wrong, because he's a touchdown, like, he beat Cadem by a couple of lengths, and he was 2.5 lengths back in 5th. So he's ran well below form. And as you touched on, the regional, you said it, Dave, you called it, handicap horse moving up. Should have been nearing and believing, like 50-1 shot and 66. I suppose that should have been nearing. If you dug deep enough, he ran well there at Haydock and behind Little Big Bear. But still, to be gone that close in the Group 1, I was deeply disappointed with Big Shaq. And I don't know if that's bubble burst. That could be the end of him. I'd be very cold on him now. I don't know if he'll come back next season. I haven't heard of his plans, but I definitely have to see him win again.
Johnny Deneen there, 1 bad run. Nope.
No, but like it was horrific. Like he broke on level, and how quick he went out like a light. I thought it was like he hasn't done anything like that. He's finished strong at Newmarket, and I don't know why. I reckon something probably come out during the week that there was something wrong with him.
Like a comment there. Come on, lads, you get this in the jump as well. You just don't.
No, it happens every year at Cheltenham. Cheltenham's very punter friendly meeting.
The handicaps, you get mad results.
Of course you will, but like
the greater races, you can narrow it down to 4 or 5.
Yeah, every year. It's very rare you get a horse
for instance,
like Lord Windermere happened, but that's a fucking one in the blue moon.
Well, he won the RSA the year before.
Yeah,
like you don't get like, where's the Group 1 today? Group 1 5 furlong sprint. Let's say they're handicappers. You would not get a handicapper coming off the jumps, going into grade 1 and winning it. Just doesn't happen.
2 scoops. That's a good comment. At least in the jumps, it's easier to pick why the very last comment there. Right. It's easier to pick why the long shot has won. Like Sir de Burley in the Stairs, God's Ground, loves Cheltenham. The races run to suit. Precisely. It's very hard. Like I understand Cadem, say as an example, had won the Stewards Cup at Goodwood, but there was no form there for him to just bolt up in a golden jubilee against the likes of Highfield Princess, who was a multiple Group 1 winner last year. So it is very hard, and I like the flat, and I can see angles. I was on Shaq at Ascot, I was raving about it and all that, but it's been a bad year, and it was a bad year last year as well.
At least you got him at the right prices.
Yeah, sure. Look, he done me a solid a few times, and I was disappointed to see him run badly, but that's racing. On to the Irish races. First one was the Justify Matron Stakes, Group 1, Fillies and Mares. The hero was very, very good. Rogue Millennium, I think, solid bit of form. She had won an Ascot in second, and Just Beautiful 6-1 in third. Sean Tahira, you like this filly?
Yeah. Oh, I loved this performance. I did. I thought she was all class. For the first time, he kicked her on, and she was up in the first 3 or 4, and I think she loved racing on it. She was hard on the bridle, and he had her covered up brilliant. Chris Hayes. He tracked in, kept her in the gap, and brought her out. He tried to keep her in as long behind the horse for as long as possible. I think it was who was the Just Beautiful was leading. She was backed very well on the day on the track as well. They expected a big run from her. He tracked her in and he asked her to go, and within the final furlong she went away. She's all class. She's so much speed, and she's a turn of foot. If she's sitting on anyone's tail, it's furlong to go. She's going by. Her turn of foot is electric. I'd love to now. I think they said the Breeders' Cup that'd suit or something like that as well. But I think something like a 4A, a 7 furlongs, I think she'd be unbelievable. I think she could rip one apart. But I'll just jump back. We seen the first 2-year-old performance, Kitty Rose, the filly. She's very good. She's a very nice filly. I'd like to see her next season. And Diego Velasquez, he was the second one. I think he needs a trip. He's probably going to be a Derby horseman next year. He was quite slow. He was off the bridle from about 4 furlongs out. He was getting niggled along. And he was bowing. He was freaking the ears when he was in front, and he didn't get away from Capulet. I'd say a step up and trip next season is where you're going to see him.
Tahira for me was very good. She's been a good filly all year. I thought she'd need a step up and trip, but she seems to be doing it all at Group 1 level at a mile, so fair play, Andrew.
Yeah, good performance. She looked the winner as that camera angle turned in. She was the one making up ground quite impressively. Rogue Millennium ran very well as well. As you said there, puts a bit of substance to the form. I think she's a very good horse. Where she goes next, I don't know. I didn't hear any interviews or whatnot. But yeah, very good filly, and she'd be one to look forward to next season anyway.
Yep. The Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes, Group 1, Mile 2, August Rodent done his thing. I think it's just safe to say that this horse doesn't go on heavy ground. And if anybody comments in that he won on heavy ground last year, and it is a 2-year-old, he might get blocked because it's nothing got to do with him going on heavy ground. His mother absolutely hated heavy ground, rhododendron. I remember in France one year, she just basically said, "No, I'm not having this. I'm done with this today. Fuck off." And he's exactly the same. That's literally what he done in Ascot. He ran for about 4 furlongs and he went, I'm not for this today. Like, you may save it for another day, Ryan. And it's genius and all that by Aidan, but I think because he won on heavy ground last year, they thought he might get away with it. He clearly does not. Guineas was heavy ground. He could not be fucked with it. Right. Ascot, King George, heavy ground. He could not be fucked with it. And every other race, then he does his business. Aidan was saying yesterday, he stops and he gets to the front. You look back, he doesn't win his races by very far either. So I think he does stop a bit when he gets to the front. He thinks the job is done and kind of puts his head up in the air. But I think Luxembourg ran well. Nashville we touched on. The English jockeys were poor. Maybe it'd be a different result if they had been closer, but you can't take it away from August Rodin.
Yeah,
Andrew
got a bit of help from Shamie Heffernan as well. No, mad. It's mad. He loses the use of his arm when he sees Ryan Moore coming up next to him.
He's a company man.
He's like, no, I'm shoulders locked. Shit.
You need them. I'm telling you, you need them company men. That's what keep it going.
It was a piece of work from Ballydoyle. They had the taxis down to the T. They executed them perfectly. Best horse in race won. Luxembourg to me is a meh horse. So how good these 3-year-olds are is another thing. Nashwa, she ran on at the end. From Kevin Stock had fucking hell, what's his name again?
King of Steel.
King of Steel, who looks like he needs 3 miles in the fence, the size of him. He got a poorish ride, but look, Augusta Roland, very good horse, has come back to form.
Augusta Roland. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I wasn't blown away by it by any stretch of imagination. You could throw a blanket over the first 3 or 4. But yeah, Luxembourg being second does not for me.
Sean.
Yeah, I thought it was a masterclass by Ballydoyle. Sure, they tried the same point Lonsdale, and he couldn't even get up to Luxembourg to set the pace for. Luxembourg ran very well. I put up on Esto from the forum last year. Unfortunately, he ran a stinker. He ran very poorly, but Luxembourg ran there, and I thought he ran very well. Augusta Rodin had to do well to go by him. He battled well. Then, as you touched on, Holly Doyle was way too far back. Her and Kevin Stott was found out around Leopardstown. As you've seen yesterday, plenty of horses on the pace, one at Leopardstown. You cannot give that gap. I mean, Ballydoyle had it set perfectly. Augusta Rodin was towed into the race by Luxembourg, and he was always going to go by. I think he had a bit under the sleeve as well. He doesn't pull away, as you've touched on. King of Steel, I really thought he was very unlucky. I thought if he'd have been closer, he really, really would have got really close to him. I think the Derby form, I don't know if he would have turned it, but I think he could have got a lot closer. He was just too far back, and they got the lead, and he could never make it back. And I don't know what they'll do with him. Where will they go? Will they go the Arc? I seen them. They were mentioning Breeders' Cup a lot yesterday. I don't know if that was for the ground and they were scrapping out the Arc or
India.
With Augusta Rodin.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they sell him to this Asian consortium, and then
I don't think so. With the blood,
and then send him to the Breeders' Cup. See, they might would still have a stake in him, even if they sell him, and then it's not too bad on Ballydoyle or Coolmore breeding if he goes to America and bombs out again.
Yeah, I can't see them getting rid of him because he has the Japanese, and he's massive for their breeding. I don't think they'll let him go. Maybe, as you said, they probably own him, and they probably keep some of the rights.
Like there's nothing really there left for him to run in. You can just ride out France because the ground's going to be too soft.
The
Breeders' Cup was strong.
He's extremely ground dependent anyway. Extremely.
Yeah, he's a real. I was surprised.
Ascot is usually soft on Champions Day.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, definitely. Like, I was the first time seeing him yesterday, and he's a real frail horse. Like, King of Steel is massive. He looks like a national hunt chaser. But Augusta Rodin was a real frail horse, and I can see why he didn't lift a toe on every ground.
Yeah, his mother hated it anyway. So
King of Steel, I think, step him up and trip it. Up you go.
King of Steel, I'd say, is going to be one of them ones that just doesn't do it.
I don't know. I think if he was closer to the pace, they gave it, like Holly Doyle and Kevin Stott gave them way too much length to make up. You're never going to make that up, and they were wood.
Okay,
I'd love to.
Sorry, Sean, go on.
No, I'd love to see him. I think the Champion Stakes in England, the British Champion Stakes, I think he'd have a massive say in that now. I
just think he's so big, he wants heavy ground, and I do think he'll be better next year. If they keep him in training as a 4-year-old, I think he'll be quite good. He'll grow and mature into that frame. He's a monster of a horse.
I think he'd enjoy the Cheltenham Hill.
He might be a bit too good for that.
I think he might enjoy it. About just on Nashua, I don't think they really had any other choice but the rider like that, because that's where all the best performance have come from, being held up really off the pace in Fleur at home. I think you could upgrade her performance of that. Still a dog though, and I really don't care about the flat.
The Dullingham Park Stakes Group 2 over a mile. Flight plan, I had mentioned that Cara Burke sends over a few, and for some reason he can't seem to get him to hit the target in England at the big meetings, but comes over to Ireland and gets it done. He's had 2 winners over the weekend. 15-2 winner, Buckaroo, 2-1 favourite, Victoria Road, a 4-1 third. I will safely say I'm never backing Buckaroo again, because he just finds a way to lose. I think he was too far back anyway. Oisin was poor enough on him. He's a horse that really likes to be right at the pace or leading, and he was sitting 3rd or 4th and just couldn't make up the ground. But he's just a horse full of excuses for me. Andrew?
I would have expected Flight Plan to stop and they would have caught him. But they gave him too much rope on a course that was riding extremely favourable for horses that are up with the pace. So, I like him. I don't know what.
You may like him, but he's going to keep costing you money.
That's only third. I don't know. I don't know. It looked like he was going to win at one stage, and the thing in front just wasn't stopping. I don't know. I'd like to see it back on the track where if you're not in the front, you don't win. Well, but again, couldn't give a shit.
Sean?
Who
Yeah,
knows
this
where they're going?
baffled. Yeah, I was kicking myself at this. This baffled me now. I thought we were on to one with Buckaroo. He got out in the front. Like, I even had to go and look at the program to say who was this. Like, his second career win. He was walloped in the Guineas, beaten in the 7 furlong, the Jersey Stakes at Ascot. He ran behind Poker Face, but I don't know where this came from. I think this was really down to the boys. Like, they got a nice enough lead, and then Salt Lake City sort of fell away, and Danny Tupou filled them, and then kicked off the bend, and sure, they just weren't going to catch it from there. Buckaroo went late, and Victoria Road chased them home, but they've given away too many lengths by the time they went to chase.
That's why I'd say they gave him as much rope as they did.
Probably.
It hasn't been shown fucking anything to suggest he was going to win anything like this.
Well, the Paddy Power Stakes Group 3, Mile 4, Adelaide River continued his upward curve. 11 to 8 favourite, who's just hanging on at the end though from Al Azzi, who got a stinker from Jim Crowley. I think that was the worst ride all weekend. And Lafayette was 25 to 1 third.
What a legend.
Al Azzi, I think it was about 12 to 15 lengths coming around the bend, and he made up 6 lengths and was beaten going down by maybe half a length a neck in the last furlong. I know the horse is a bit of a monkey and needs to be ridden quietly like that, but too far back.
I think Adelaide River was just sticking around when he hit the front. He was out there a long time on his own when he went for home.
Well, he was in the right position and Jim Crowley wasn't.
Yeah, I think the best horse won. And as he could have been ridden better, but I still think the result would have been the same. I think he was just arsing about when he hit the front. He was out there a long time. Lafayette's just a little legend. I love him.
Yeah, he's just a tough horse. He runs his race.
I put him up each way, 25 to 1, done the job. But Adelaide River, I think there's no problems if they wanted to try stretch him next season for a possible Gold Cup tilt kind of campaign. I think he'd get every inch of it. Just looks like not a lazy horse, but a horse that just likes a bit of company and will keep going and going and going. Nothing sexy about him, nothing thrilling about him, boy. Decent horse.
Sean?
Yeah, Prop Valley and King in here at a decent price, and by God, I was wicked disappointed to say the least. Like, you had Lafayette a length behind in third, and I think, I don't know whether it was the quick round or Ryan Moore had a great race out the front. He set the fractions perfect, and when they kicked, I don't know if he just didn't have that turn of gear over a mile 4, maybe step back up and trip. But you touched on El Azzi, he was way too far behind. Ryan Moore had kicked and probably got about 5-6 lengths by the time Jim Crowley decided shit, I have to go and catch him, and he was closing all the way to the line. Lafayette ran a good race, and I don't know what they do with that Adelaide River. You perhaps see him thrown into an arc at the end of the season, but I don't think he makes the cut, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I couldn't see him being anywhere in the arc either, but not a bad horse. And Aidan keeps saying to make a better 4-year-old like Duke of Marmalade back in the day. The Al Basti Equiworld Dubai Flying 5 Stakes Group 1. As we touched on earlier, Moss Tucker, winner 16 to 1. Get ahead. Can't understand how this thing has come second in the Group 1 sprint. 22 to 1. Equality, who's pretty much a handicapper as well, but is taking a step up. 20 to 1. We touched on it. The sprinting division is falling asunder. And the last time Art Power was in Ireland, he beat Moss Tucker by, I think, over 5, because Moss Tucker was third. And he was about 1 million lengths behind today. So I just don't know what to make. To be quite honest, I think it was just shit.
Yeah. They all broke. Art Power went to the front over on the stand side. Hyphy Princess kind of followed him over after she kind of jink coming out. Our Power got headed. I stopped watching. I didn't have a bet in the race. I just like something weird is going to win this. I stopped, went in, made a coffee, came back, and I seen this thing was at the win in the 16th one. That's how much interest I genuinely had in this race.
Yeah. Sean?
It's just terrible. Like,
yeah, it was so poor.
Sprinting division. It's the Curragh. The Curragh, I don't know what it is about the Curragh. The Curragh never like fascinates you about racing. I don't know whether it's just so open and there's no atmosphere. The facilities are unbelievable. I don't know.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm going off here just to...
Yeah, these sprint divisions baffle me, and I ask myself every time why I even bother trying to pick one out, because the form just flip flops and there's no consistency whatsoever. As you touched on, like, Moss Tucker was 4.5 lengths behind Our Power last time we ran at the Curragh. Like, where has that come from? Highfield Princess, they said they reckon she's in season, so perhaps that's the reason for running below today. But it's like, I don't know what to make of the sprints, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, they're poor.
And that comes from America over here will have a fucking field day.
2 scoops. Anybody that checked on Kevin Blake after Boutemont got a pad pasted? And what's happening with Godolphin? Nothing for next season either, it looks like. Yeah, Godolphin have had a poor enough season. I think Charlie Appleby just has drawn stumps on it and is trying to just go for next season. They've 1 or 2 2-year-olds, but it's really what's the word I'm looking for? It's more so push Coolmore into the limelight because Aiden is winning all the races, but Godolphin just don't have anything at the moment.
Very quiet.
Very, very quiet.
Yeah, he was adamant on pushing on and saying he has a couple for the back end, but I don't know if that's a bluff card, to be honest with you.
You could see a lot of early season Godolphin horses next year who might have classic aspirations.
Look,
I don't care, and I'm saying
Maidan, I was hearing that Charlie Appleby, and he is a really good trainer. He's the best trainer in the world, and he's taken over from Maiden and this and that. It's just no. Same way Johnny Ward said Aidan O'Brien was finished. Can't train any other horses unless they're fucking
Then a Galileo.
Full of Galileo's sperm.
Oh.
Yeah. Who the fuck is Boutemont, by the way?
He's to do with that.
I seen the thing on Twitter about
it. That's where he is.
It's one of these syndicates, and they're trying to sell him by running him in Group 1. It's going to be a stallion, and you get like percentage of the stallion on all that stuff, and because they're it's not good.
I say ad. I saw on Twitter it was
Syndicates Racing. Would that be the name?
I don't know. It was The Simpsons. Not about The Simpsons episode where it was Monorail. It was fucking Boutemont. I was like, you absolute.
Do you know what's brilliant? We're sidetracked here now. You're talking about Simpsons. on Instagram, watching all the old fucking all the old bits of South Park. Honest to God, how they got away with some of the stuff.
They're still getting away with it.
I'm sure they are because it's all over Instagram. But fuck me, I'd be cackling sideways with Cartman going around like an angry little boy. Oh, stop. So good. Never mind anyway.
Still on in my house.
Fucking turn this off, lads, and go watch the South Park.
Going down South Park, going to meet some friends of mine.
Migler Stud Stakes, Group 1 Fillies. Carol Burke again. Fallen Angel 92, Vespertilio 4-1, Ornelia 20-1, Porta Fortuna joint Dead Heat third 17-2. The O'Brien horse bombed out. Otherwise, probably a nice filly going forward. She'll stay further, I'd say, but not overly excited.
Dave, I was in town at the Harvest Festival this on. I didn't see it.
Sean.
Yeah, Yalanga Lang blew out wherever that was for. I'm not too sure if they've come back in with something for her, but that wasn't her running at all. Good race, but I thought they were a good crop of fillies. That Fallen Angel done well. They got into the battle. Vespertilio, I think it's how you pronounce it, came on the bridle on the outside, and she had to dig deep. She battled well, and then she came away at the line. But I'm more looking towards the former line that was run at Sandown when Shiwari beat her. I wonder where she's going next because she's got to be very good. That form is looking good now. Her coming out in the Migler today, very good winner and the best horse.
The Vincent O'Brien National Stakes. I don't think anybody was surprised when one of these Aiden horses was pulled out due to unsuitable ground. We did not get to see City of Troy. It's a shame. Hopefully we'll see him soon enough. But Henry Longfellow out of Minding by Dubawi, done the business. I could never understand this Bucanero Forte chap. I know Andrew likes him, but I just think he's a dog. And he was well and truly smashed today.
Like
Henry,
I saw this. I didn't have a bet. I was just the one race I sat
Henry
down
and his Longfellow
when I was having my food in town. You have a horse stepping up 6 furlongs and you put in a fucking pacemaker for him. What are you doing? You go 700 million miles an hour, and Kevin Scott is driving him up next to him to try to go with him. What in the name of fucking Jesus Christ are you doing, son?
He'd probably be sacked. You get the last around. What do you think? I reckon he'd be sacked.
Pacemaker. Oh shit, him or me? Oh fuck, come on.
Anyone want to get me a price on Kevin Stott to be sacked from Amo Race?
You must be
was
reading
just-
Twitter with that.
It was set up for Henry Longfellow to just cant the next to him and go, bye. I don't know what that. They tried to do a Ballydoyle and they just fucked up big time.
Sean, what do you think of Henry and his Longfellow?
Like, oh, wow, what the
Well,
It was the
I love
worst.
this.
Team tactics.
Yeah, sure.
Let's kill each
Yeah,
let's kill
see,
each other. I knew they were-
sure, Ballydoyle just go out and team tactic every race, and that's why they win. Sure, look, another Troy just fucking goes tits up. But City of Troy and Henry Longfellow, I knew one of these weren't gonna run, and I wouldn't have had it this way. City of Troy being pulled and Henry Longfellow running. But I absolutely love this. I texted into you as I said it. I was taking on that Buccaneer Forte all day. I don't. He's nothing for me. He'll fall away. Henry Longfellow was very, very good. He sat on the tail, but Andrew's already touched on. He had a pacemaker in here who went in with Buccaneer Forte and kicked out. But a 4 sure, he was going neck and neck, quickening it up. And I was quickly on the phone and I was backing Henry Longfellow even more and running when I seen that happening. But he sat on the tail. He wasn't too far off. He showed a lot of gears and he's becoming more professional. The last day when he was at the Curragh, he was running around a bit. When you seen the head on, he was going left to right. But this day he knew his job. When Roy Moore kicked him on, he went down onto the rail and he put 5 lengths into Oil of the Stream. I was very impressed. He's very good. It's a pity we didn't get to see City of Troy, but we've seen a good one.
He'll win the Racing Post trophy.
Oh,
Yeah, he could be one to
definitely.
go for that. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
And the last one, the Irish Ledger Group 1 over mile 6. Elder off has now won the English and Irish Ledger. Kip Ross is second, Dawn Rising third. I talked to Sean about this after the Kip Ross run did nothing for me. Andrew was saying he took a blow after. He looked like a horse that wasn't as tough as last year.
Yeah, like we had 2 different opinions here. I actually thought it was a very good run. He does travel off the bridle, but I think there was plenty of signs to show that he was nowhere near peak fitness. He fell out. He was being pushed along, and Roy Moore I thought at the top of the straight came back up off him, and I thought to myself, maybe is he going to go on now? But Ryan only hit him 4 times. He gave him a soft time. He wasn't asked big questions. I think he'll improve massively, and I'll be all over him come to Cadron now. I think the ability is still there. It was a fitness run. I think he'd be primed for later in the season, and I wouldn't be surprised if he takes out the Cadron and then goes to Ascot.
I think you can have what you want on him in his next run.
I went back and I'll take him on anyway.
I think he's miles. Like you have to remember, he's come back from a quite serious injury, and they probably have the Cadron as his main target of the season. It's going to be a pipe opener. Yeah, he's backed into 4 to 6. You would expect him to beat him if he was forward enough. He obviously wasn't. And the rest of them are out there having lots of runs this season. This is his first run of the season. You forgive him his first run of the season. He's going to come on massively for this. How many Aidan O'Brien's horses come on for the first run of the season? I'd say 80, 90% of them do. The main ones. I say you could have what you want on him in France. I say he will win by the straight. He'll win by the length of the straight again, I'd say.
I think I'm the same as you. I think the ability is still there. I think it was just a perfect run, a prep. He had a blow, and I'd say he'd be nailed on for the next day. But the one that mystifies me is Emily Dickinson. Why on earth did they pull her out when the ground was going soft? It made no sense.
Stone bruise.
That's why. There you go.
And that this as well is short of Kip.
Yeah.
That horse's best. I don't die now. Kiprios. That's short of his best as well. But yeah, I think if he goes to France, he wins.
No, for me, I didn't see enough. I didn't see the Kiprios last year. He wasn't making up any ground at the end either. I thought he was going further backwards.
We'll get you on side there. There's another month till the arc.
Blowing a gasket.
Oh, that's one I will be steering.
Like pre-season training. You go for them
I will
mad
be
sprints.
steering well clear of.
And you pull up at the end of it, you go, oh, fuck. Not as fit as I was last year. Then you have more work and it stands you. You play pre-season match and you're back.
Cadron form is absolute dog as well.
The rest of them are still finishing.
Kiprios was great last year, but I just didn't see enough today. I know he has been injured.
He about 20 lengths across the track.
In the Cadron, he was very good last year.
Yeah, like he came about 20 lengths across the track and beat them by about 30 lengths. I wouldn't be worrying about the form in behind. He's miles the best of them.
Anything else?
You have a new segment.
I do. The Bengals are doing terrible, so it don't look like we're going to get any winners this week. But
A solid selling point. You don't need to say anything about that right now.
well, actually, I'll check the touchdown scores and see what the Jazz is there. McCaffrey
Is it the one
scored,
that you sent me, Dave? Because
No,
that's the one I'm gonna.
the shorter one I sent you, Sean, because I know you don't like doing the big prices, odds on done and all that. So
There's just too many selections.
try
So
and
I haven't a
start
fucking clue. I'm going in and tapping down tabs and short. Oh god! So just send me 3, and normally they're not too far off.
Justin Jefferson, we need him to score a touchdown, and then we'll be on to the next games.
So Dave has every week he has a page on the finishlinepod.com. It's a American football betting tips solely dedicated to Dave and all his American football knowledge. He cleans up practically every year at this, so it's really worth following. I'll put the link up on it's up there already. It's on Twitter, our page. You check out all his bets for any of them still run. I say running.
Yeah,
that haven't kicked off yet.
You
have
the Eagles game.
The bet builder.
Yeah, that's at 9:30.
He has a bet builder up for the 9:30 game, which is on finishlinepod.com/American football tips, or just go on to Finish Line and it's there.
I'm just glad it's back. First week's always a bit of a shock. Like the Bengals should realistically be beating the Browns, but
And the Chiefs got beaten.
Chiefs got beaten earlier on Thursday. All American sports are dreadful. That is entirely incorrect.
You just went into his bad books there.
And anything you can make money on
Here we go.
is a positive.
What's your favorite sport?
Mine, American football.
I don't get it. Throw the ball, catch it, stop, do a little dance.
It's the most exciting and the best sport going. I have to say the Rugby World Cup is very good as well. I'm quite enjoying the Rugby World Cup. I'm enjoying that. I had a bet on South Africa earlier.
To win the World Cup?
No. Minus 11 against Scotland.
If they play like that against any of the big teams, they're screwed. They were useless.
I thought they were good.
Yeah, I have to be honest, lads. I've watched the France New Zealand game on Friday. And I've watched South Africa.
New Zealand France is one of the worst rugby games I've ever seen, but the rest have been all right, like.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna do.
I didn't see that one.
The Chile-Japan match.
I think we're gonna do very well, lads. I think I was a bit fearful of the French and New Zealand, like getting one of them coming out of group. But after watching them on Friday, I think we have a good chance.
Anyone remember Madden on the Sega Mega Drive? Yeah, that's many fucking years ago now. And you had to turn on the thing and let it load for 10 minutes. You go down and have your dinner, and it might be started by the. Remember that?
Sega.
Yeah. Or was the game Flimbo's Quest?
That's before. Oh yeah.
On the Commodore 64.
That's way before.
And you'd have to fucking dial the thing up to get it going.
Sure, I was probably not even thought of back then.
And you had what was the little joystick thing you had? Fucking
like that.
Sean fucking don't remember any of that because he's too young.
No comment. I don't even want to hear you say that again.
Space Invaders. That trying to shoot for about an hour.
And yes, I have a team, Dallas Cowboys. They always let me down.
Cowboys, your team?
Yeah, they always let me down, and that's just the way it is. I'm used to being let down, so it's all the one.
On that note of positivity.
On that note, we'll see you Wednesday. And actually, we tried to get Tom to update us on stuff, but he's just been in stadiums drinking wine and watching sport the last 3 days, so I just gave up on that.
Sports.
Don Pablo.
Ireland will find a way to bottle the World Cup as always.
No, they won't. This comes from a fella with an Ireland flag. See you later.
See you Wednesday. I'm not even getting into this.
Ireland.